Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to another exciting show of what are we called? Love Not Fear, with my wonderful co-host Annie Day, author of
Orgasmic Health and Your Guide to Feeling Fabulous Fast.
And I'm the author of Love Not Fear.
Yay!
So we're going to be talking about sound healing.
Indeedy.
Excited?
I'm very excited. Very, very excited. I've got my deerskin drum and I've got my tank drum and rattles and temple bells and a singing bowl and loads of information about the best frequencies for healing as well. But I'm sure you've got loads of lovely things to share as well.
Yep, I've made a few notes. But
cool.
Do you want to lead off?
Well, going back to ancient times, the famous physicians, philosophers and mathematician Pythagoras was convinced that frequencies had a healing effect on the mind and body, and how right he was. Pythagoras was also responsible for, discovering the harmonic relationship between mathematical ratios and different musical chords. And also sacred geometry. For those of you who haven't looked at fractal geometry and sacred geometry, I'd recommend that you do that. It's wonderful stuff. The drumming vibrations that accompany shamanic trance work speak to the power of harnessing sound frequencies to induce altered mind states. Solfeggio frequencies have been associated since ancient times with the creation of sacred music, including meditation music. I don't know why we've got the top of Kenneth's cupboard, but we have. You've got a very interesting fridge and cupboard. Not quite sure why it's on that, but anyway.
As long as he's happy with it.
Stop now.
As long as he's not asking me to wear it. Well, I wouldn't have the body for it, can I?
Even though humans have been studying the connection between healing sound therapies and frequencies and the operation of the human body since Pythagoras' times, modern scientists and most healers are just as fascinated by the effects that different frequencies can have on the mind, body and spirit. So you can get all these frequencies on YouTube very synchronistically. So
there's loads and loads of material.
Loads of lovely stuff, isn't there?
On YouTube.
My very favourite is 432 hertz. It's the sound that I go to sleep with every night. But there are others as well. So I'm just going to tell you briefly what they do as well.
Yeah.
So 40 hertz, 40 hertz, flickering lights and sounds of 40 hertz have been used in Alzheimer's therapy studies to stimulate an increased neural response and fight symptoms of dementia. So until I did this research yesterday, I didn't know about that. So that sounds all very positive, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
174 hertz is one of the Solfeggio frequencies, a series of tones used in sacred music that is believed to have different positive effects on the human health. 174 hertz is associated with the reduction of pain and stress. So I have recommended that to my patients in the past. So 174 is a really good pain reliever.
Do you actually offer sound therapy at your clinic?
I do, Jack. I've got a harp chair. I've got all sorts of beautiful musical instruments, and I sing to my patients in their sound therapy sessions as well, darling.
Brilliant, yeah.
So 285 hertz is also a Solfeggio frequency and is considered instrumental in the healing of cuts, burns and other physical wounds. 285 hertz sound frequencies are activating the body into cellular regeneration, encouraging itself to heal the event or an injury. And what I should say about this is that not only does 285 hertz heal physical wounds, but it also heals. This is my personal and professional experience, but it also heals emotional wounds as well, because often there's a correlation between what's going on in our mind, our hearts, and then what happens in our physicality. So I'd recommend 285 hertz for that reason. Then we have 396 hertz. This sound frequency is associated with removal of fear and other negative feelings. Again, as one of the Solfeggio frequencies, the 396 hertz tone aids in the removal of feelings of guilt, make it an effective addition to spiritual music. 396 hertz frequencies balance the root chakra while simultaneously transforming negative emotions such as grief into positive, joyful ones.
I think we all need that.
Oh, we so do.
The world really needs that at the moment.
We all need that frequency, don't we? Because, you know, we're getting so much fear porn, aren't we? So
yeah.
Just to explain what looks like I'm drinking my own urine, as funny as that would be. This is actually white pine. We're back to laughter therapy, aren't we, clearly?
What you like, Annie? What's Andrew?
Remedist, I think.
What's Andrew just said on the comments?
Oh, let me have a look. Oh, I think he's found something scrummy. https www.jillpurse.com, I think it says. Is that right,
Okay.
Andrew?
I'll put that in the description so people can check it out. What is it?
It's a lady who works with sound healing. She's been doing it since the 1970s.
Brilliant, brilliant. Yeah, I'll put a link in down below. As well as loads of other links. Sorry?
I'm recommending white pine needle tea. We all need to be drinking this at the moment. It's organic white pine needle tea, and it's really good as a natural resource for helping our bodies to overcome coughs and colds and sniffles and Rupert Sheldrake. Yeah, I've heard of Rupert Sheldrake.
Yeah.
So
brilliant guy,
yeah. So white pine needle tea, I recommend all of you either picking your own from the local forest or whatever, or actually just buying organic white pine needle tea, because it's really good for coughs and colds.
I swear by pine needle tea. Absolutely love it.
It's amazing, isn't it? It really is.
I drink loads of it when I'm camping.
Yeah, it's lovely stuff, isn't it? I really like the taste, to be honest. I know it's not everybody's cup of tea. And then there's another one from Andrew. Oops.
Okay, so it's another link. I'll put it below. I'll check it all.
Okay, lovely.
Yeah.
So we were talking about 396 hertz, which clearly is very, very good. They're speaking to each other on this one he's just sent. That's what Andrew said. Okay, it's always good when people speak to each other. It's always good to talk to each other. Always, 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 always. So 417 hertz, instead of a focus on physical ailments, healing sound therapy involving 417, another of the Solfeggio frequencies, focus on emotional healing, which again, yeah. And then my very favorite that I go to sleep with, as I've already said, is 432 hertz. 432 hertz therapy is aimed at the heart chakra, and listening to 432 hertz frequency leads to greater levels of mental and emotional clarity. 432 hertz tuning is considered optimum for tuning opera singers and is associated with a higher level of spiritual development. I don't know about being an opera singer, but certainly I feel better when I listen to that going to sleep. And even when I've been away from home, I've put because I've got a resonator on the back of my mobile phone, so it's not going to cause any EMF interaction with me. But literally, I'll put 432 hertz healing music on while I'm away from home and listen to it as well. Yeah. So I thoroughly recommend that. So 528 hertz, also known as the love frequency. I'm very fond of this one, surprisingly, as well.
Yeah, we all need that one too. The world needs an awful lot more of love.
Oh, we do. All we need is love.
Da, 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 da.
I knew it wouldn't be long before we managed to slide that into our show, Jackpot. So yeah, 528 hertz is one of the most popular and the most well-known for heart healing. This musical tone is also known as the miracle tone and has been used in native populations as a sound associated with giving blessings. From Andrew Paul Smith to everyone, he's advertising his book. Okay. You
can advertise your book, Andrew.
Oh, I see.
You were singing my advert.
I was. See, it's got so many beautiful healing qualities, hasn't it? Just us singing that. So 852 hertz sound therapy is a tone that is associated with redirecting the mind away from overthinking. I'm going to put my hands up to this one. There are times when I'm really busy with my work. I'm really busy with other external things. And instead of just doing one thing at a time, I'll be trying to, like most multitasking goddesses, I'll be trying to do, you know, a billion all at once. So it does stop me from overthinking and just staying in the present moment, basically. These patterns of thought play a larger role in depression and anxiety. Exposure to 852 hertz can help with this sound frequency to alleviate the role of negative thoughts and these psychological ailments. So again, it's a really good one for helping us to lift our mood, basically. Then 963 hertz associated with the activation of our beautiful pineal gland and higher spiritual development. As we know, the fluoride in our water calcifies our pineal gland. So stay away from tap water and get yourself a filter jug if nothing else. So
tap water is pure poison.
Absolutely, darling. Absolutely.
If you can't do anything else, at least filter it.
Absolutely, darling. The last thing we want is our beautiful intuition, our pineal gland calcified, because it then means that we're not able to use our beautiful intuition for everything that we would want to do.
Yep.
So the 963 hertz frequency is known as both the pure miracle tone and the frequency of the gods. And we should say goddesses as well. I think. Absolutely.
Gods and goddesses.
Frequency is for goddesses. 963 is associated with activation of the crown chakra too. So music therapy can help with a stroke recovery therapy, autistic sensory therapy. Some autistic children earlier in this lifetime, I was a special needs teacher for about 20 years, and certainly children with autistic tendencies really react beautifully to sound therapy and sound healing. Brainwave entrainment, touted among experts in alternative medicine as an effective way of treating a variety of ailments. Brainwave entrainment involves exposing the brain to different sound frequencies to address a variety of cognitive issues, from headaches and stress to premenstrual symptoms and chronic pain. I don't know. Never tried it, but I'm guessing that, you know, because so many people are saying that it works, it works. Altering stress hormones, musical frequencies have long been used for therapeutic, blah, 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 blah. I'll try that again. Musical frequencies have long been used for therapeutic purposes to calm people who are angry, frustrated, or stressed.
Yeah.
And
music calms the savage breast.
Oh, oops.
What was that?
I don't know. I think I've just touched something that I shouldn't have touched.
No, it's still working. It's still working.
Oh,
We've still Lovely face.
It is my perpetual running in the background thing that I'm going to press a button and do something I wasn't meant to do, or not press a button that I was meant to do, and yes, do something crazy.
Well, fortunately, we're not on TikTok, so we're not going to get funny things coming up on the screen.
So I wanted to talk about some of the instruments that I've got that I use in my sound healing, but also I wanted to remind us of really natural sounds that have such an amazing benefit. I don't know if any of you've got cats as pets, but I know that if a cat sits on my lap and I start stroking it and it does that, that frequency is so, that was a really rubbish impression, I know, Jack.
No, it was good.
Nothing like a cat. But you know, that lovely purring.
How's it go again?
I'm not sure that sounds like a cat, but you've got the gist of it anyway. But I do think that, you know, that the cat's purring does have a really good effect on us and really relieves our stress levels. And I know also that when you're stroking a cat or even a dog, you know, we're doing stroking movements that healing us, that, you know, these animals are giving us their lovely vibration, basically. The other thing that really does it for me is babies giggling. You ever heard like babies giggling at each other about who knows what they're giggling at, or little children giggling? That frequency just makes me laugh so much and makes me giggle as well. So I know there is, what shall I say, an aspect of sound healing where just hearing that sound, you know, can make all the difference. And from our show last week, Jack, I've had such brilliant feedback that people have said they've had to go back and watch it again because they just love that feeling of giggling and laughing, and that they found it really infectious, and they've shown their friends and gone, listen to this will just really make you laugh. So I do know that sound healing, you know, anything that raises our vibration, sound healing is really good for, isn't it?
Anyone who missed that, anyone who's watching now on YouTube who missed last week's show, do go back and watch it. We had so much fun, didn't we? Just laughing and giggling and telling jokes and raising our vibrations.
Yeah,
that's what it was all about, raising our vibrations with laughter.
And the more I heard you giggle and the other people who were taking part in the show, the more it was making me giggle. And then the more you heard me giggle and laugh, the more you were giggling and laughing. So there is that level of entrainment, isn't there, where, you know, that just hearing that sound, you know, produces positivity, doesn't it? So
we just set each other off perfectly, didn't we?
I did. And I managed to mess up Ziggy's joke beautifully. Not joke that I didn't do, but
I nearly didn't get my joke out. I nearly fell apart laughing before I finished it.
So yeah, the lovely Gareth, his Earth name is, not Ziggy, and I, during the let me think how I want to phrase this. So the enforced imprisonment in our own homes at the beginning of that period, you know.
I never took any notice of that. I just carried on as normal.
Well, at the time, he lived in North Wales and I lived clearly in Stafford. And so on Sunday afternoons after our lunch, we used to have a trance event. So I'd be on my rebounder, he'd be on his rebounder. We'd choose which music we wanted to dance to. And I can't tell you how much that helped me. Neither of us felt, because both of us live alone. It really, we've talked about this quite a lot, that we didn't feel like we were on our own because we were dancing and we were laughing and we were singing and we were moving our bodies, and it helped us to feel really, really connected. So, you know, anything that we can do with dance music or with singing or anything else that we can do will really raise our beautiful vibrations. So I thought, as I just happened to have this beautiful deerskin drum, So I'll tell you the story behind this beautiful deerskin drum. My Reiki master teacher and my second master teacher gifted me this. She birthed this on Dartmoor. And it's what they do on Dartmoor is that Nigel Shaw and Caroline Hillier, his wife, anytime a deer dies, they use everything that is that deer in the circle of life, and they make beautiful drums or help people to birth their drums. So everything that is on this drum is from a beautiful muntjac deer. But it's beautiful, isn't it? And I love that idea of the circle of life, so nothing's wasted. So even this is made out of deer skin as well. So this is synchronistically, all the musical instruments that I have in my home just happen to be tuned to F sharp, which is our higher heart. Just, you know, this is the harp cherries, the temple bells, the singing bowl, all of them are F sharp. So clearly the universe knew what it was doing when it forced me to have these lovely things. So I just want you to listen to this because it's very heart healing.
Yeah, so I was going then.
I know. So quite often when I play my drum, I do it outside in nature. I do it up the chase, or I do it in my garden. But I'm also doing what is called in sound healing sonic driving. No, stay there. Thank you. So we're also doing something called sonic driving. So while we're walking around drumming, our feet are doing that very rhythmical movements as well, isn't it? So that is also making a sound on the earth as well as we walk around with our beautiful, beautiful drums. So the Native American Indian cultures have been using drums for, I don't know, thousands and thousands of years, as have lots of shamanic communities, because they just know that it's really good for healing us in every possible way.
They've always known, haven't they? I mean, we're just starting now to rediscover, discover that technology, and they've had it for, as you say, for thousands of years.
Yeah. So yeah, we're the newcomers on the block, really, aren't we? We're the newcomers.
And the fact that we used to, well, not you and me personally, obviously, but I mean, our race of people used to look down on them.
I know.
Our ancestors used to look down on their ancestors, and they were far more civilized than we were.
Oh, without a doubt. And they were much more in touch with nature, weren't they? And much more in tune with the seasons and the stars. And yeah, just a very gentle spirituality, isn't it, really? So
I mean, their culture was totally different from ours, but certainly not inferior in any way.
Oh, no way, darling. So you know how magical Glastonbury is, folks. This is a great story.
We both love Glastonbury, don't we? It's a very,
very... So I wrote my cosmic order list because I'd just seen a man on the high street of Glastonbury and he was playing a hang drum. So I was with my lovely friend and I said, right, I'm definitely having a hang drum. And I wrote it down, and then we got to the end of our meal. I went to pay and they said that the card machine, because I'd used all my cash and crystals, unsurprisingly.
Not surprised
the surprise for you, Jack. And at the Speaking Tree, that bookshop just have to go in and spend all my money in there. So I'd got no actual cash. So I went to pay and they said the machine was down. So I said, where's the nearest cash machine? And they said, the Co-op. So I walked down to the Co-op and I heard this drum. And I walked into the shop and said, if that's still here when I paid the bill and I've come back, I'm buying that drum. Now, one of the reasons was the frequency, the sound of it, but also it just happens to have, as I walked into the shop, just happens to have a flower of life right in the middle, which, as most people know, I just absolutely adore the flower of life. So this is my lovely tank drum.
Oh.
Beauty, isn't she?
Mm.
So, sit still, please. Thank you. So this
Let's
drum,
hear what that sounds like.
you can't play the wrong note because this drum just teaches you how to use it. But the fact that it used to be a Caligas bottle, so that's what a tank drum is. It used to be a Caligas bottle, and then it's been beautifully changed, and the colours are all the colours that I resonate with. But also, I just absolutely adore the Flower of Life. But I guess the sound's more like a xylophone sort of thing than a drum.
It does a bit, doesn't it? Yeah.
Rather than actually a tank drum. But I've taken it up the tour, Jack, to christen it, as you would, in a great big bag with a lot of help from my friends, because it's
beautiful,
very heavy, as you can imagine. And then when I got up there, people were saying, but I don't know how to play a drum. And I said, I don't think you need to know how to play this. This drum teaches you. There's no wrong notes with this drum. You just do what your heart tells you.
We've lost your voice.
I have.
You've gone really quiet.
No. Oh, we can't have that. Am I noisy now?
Oh, yeah, you're noisy now. That's much better.
You can't beat a drum from Andrew.
Oh, well done, Andrew.
Thank you, Andrew.
We needed that. We were getting far too serious.
So that's wonderful. And then I have, I'll do the rattles first. So as well as all my other beautiful natural talents and abilities, I'm a shaman, is what some people call me. So I've got this.
You certainly are, Annie.
I am indeed, aren't I? So this is seed pods from Africa. Very good for clearing entities, if any lost souls have become attached to us, if any, I don't know, negative situations or negative energies have become attached to our aura, then just doing this around your aura makes a really big difference. And there is something a bit primal about the sound as well, I think.
Yeah, primal.
Maybe when we were Native American Indians, maybe, Jack, or shamans.
Could be.
Yeah, I love this, and I bought this from Art of Africa. There's a bit of a theme going, isn't there? So this one did not come from Glastonbury. This came from my local charity shop. The lady in the Shore Trust puts anything unusual, or as she puts it, bonkers, on one side for the Annie Day pile. So listen to this.
What's happening to your sound, Annie? It keeps going off.
Why? I don't know.
No, you've gone really quiet again. It's when you started shaking your rattle.
Can you hear it now?
Yeah, you're back on, yeah.
Okay. So this came from the Shore Trust, and probably 12 months ago, the lady at the Shore Trust, when they reopened all the charity shops, said, I've got an Annie Day pile. So this was one of the goodies. And I said, what's an Annie Day pile? So she said, hearts, fairies, angels. What else did she say? Oh, turquoise, silver, magenta, and anything that looks bonkers. So I was like, okay. So this is my lovely bonkers thing from the charity shop, which I absolutely adore, to be honest. So then this one is, a friend went to Africa on safari and bought me this lovely seed pod from an African plane tree. So it's absolutely huge, as you can see.
Oh, yeah.
It's got seeds inside.
Yeah. How do they dry it?
Pardon?
How do they dry it? In the sun?
I think that nature does that, Jack. I think they just fall off the trees. this is what he told me, that they belong to the laburnum tree family. And so we will have seen much littler seed pods on laburnum trees. But yeah, basically they just, I suppose it's like sweet pea seeds, isn't it? That it just dries itself naturally. But yeah, a great tool for healing, basically.
Oh yeah.
And then you may not have heard that, but I just dropped it on the floor. And then this, my lovelies, is my Tibetan singing bowl.
Oh, beautiful. Well, you hit it once and the sound goes off. You've probably got a...
Well, you can do that.
Okay, yeah.
And then you could start doing this, couldn't you?
Yeah, we're not picking that up.
You're going to have to just trust me on this, that it's doing something lusciously lovely and beautiful. So yeah, this just happens to be linked to your heart chakra as well. So it's F sharp. And then most of you will have seen temple bells, or sometimes they're called tingshas. So this is what I like to do with them. So I'll move back a bit. This is me. I'll do it again so I'm nearer the mic, as you're not able to hear it as well as I am. So basically this will cleanse your aura and it can just lift your spirits. Can you hear that, Jack?
No, but can anybody else hear it? No.
I heard it first when you played it, and then it went
Yeah,
off. I with the other instruments. So I'm going to tap my glass of water now. Can you hear it? I'm tapping it quite a few times now. So it's something to do with the sound. You can only hear the first noise that you make, and then it goes.
Ah, I see.
It's a Zoom thing.
Oh, it's a Zoom. It's not me. Thank you, Andrew.
Well,
if you couldn't hear me on the water.
No.
No, if you can't hear that, then that's why it's just the wrong frequency to send it. This is made for voice, isn't it, Zoom?
Ah, now that might explain it then. Well, anyway, it sounds gorgeous and lovely. You just have to take my word for it.
Lucky you, Annie.
Hey.
I said, lucky you that you can hear it and we can't.
I know. How blessed am I? So, yeah, I wanted to say as well that when we chant, when we do we can really feel the difference that makes. But chanting works, singing affirmations. Jack and I have talked about why you shouldn't be singing dreary, horrible, sad love songs.
Never sing sad songs, never listen to sad songs.
Because
it only brings your energy down.
Yeah, and if you sing along with that lyric that says, gloom, doom, it's all over, what are you actually creating? Because it's still an affirmation, isn't it, for the universe?
Boo-hoo, she doesn't love me, boo-hoo, boo-hoo.
In the bar in Toledo,
across
from the depot, on a bar stool, she took off her ring.
Yeah, that one as well. So it's really important that we only sing and only listen to and sing along to love songs that have happy endings. And if you can't find one that's got happy endings, don't sing it, basically. So I've stopped people before now because they've been singing, familiar songs, but they've been singing it with great gusto. And actually I've said, have you listened to the words you're singing? That's still an affirmation. You don't want to be singing that at all. So my lovely youngest sister and I, We go out with her family, alternate Thursday evenings. And while the other people were outside having their cigarettes, we just started reminiscing. And she told me that as a little girl, she used to have nightmares, except for the nights when I sang her to sleep with a lullaby. And the fact that she's my junior by about 3 years, I was really moved and really touched by it, because I didn't know as a little girl, as I say, I'm only 3 years older than her, that singing lullabies to my little sister was making such a big difference. But she said, I remember that the nights Annie sang to me, I didn't have nightmares and I slept really soundly. And, you know, we've known that for a very long time, haven't we, that mums sing lullabies to their babies when they're going off to sleep.
What's the age difference between you?
3 years.
And how old were you?
I was 4 and she was 1. When I first started doing, I used to play this game with her called Happy, Funny or Sad. And I'd say, do you want a happy song? Do you want a funny song? So I'd sing things like the Ugly Bugs Ball and all sorts of mad stuff.
Yeah, I mean, there's only four different
lullabies as well, what she remembers. So
there's only 4 years between me and my brother.
Yeah.
There was a time I was twice his age.
Come on, explain that one to me. So
Well,
he was 8.
But he was 4 and I was 8.
Yeah.
4 and I was 4. But yeah, there was a time I was twice his age. And the older you get, the smaller the difference gets percentage-wise, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. So the fact that my sister is 3 years younger than me and could still remember what it felt like when I sang lullabies to her to get her off to sleep is massive, isn't it? You know, it's really massive. And again, it just shows us how fantastic sound healing is, basically. And you know, just singing loving songs to someone, you know, all those years later, you know, that she's really remembered that. So yeah. And then I don't know if anybody else has heard of this man, but he's called Dr. Gabor Mate. I might be.
Oh yes, brilliant guy.
Oh, that's all right then. So I didn't completely bugger up his name then. That's good.
An American, Canadian trauma therapist. He's absolutely brilliant. Yeah.
And he does sound healing. He does all sorts of lovely, lovely things, doesn't he? So I'd recommend him, as well as Andrew's people as well. So
Gabor Mate, I think that's how he pronounces it.
Oh, that wasn't quite how I said it, was it?
That's close enough. Yeah, I knew who you meant. I knew who you meant straight away.
You did know who I meant straight away. So, Jack, you said you'd got some notes. So, do you want to go with your stuff?
Yeah. Well, listen, I'll just say to start off with that I made a show on sound therapy about earlier in the year, before Annie started doing these shows with me, when I was with my other co-host. So I will put a link to that below, and I'm not going to repeat all the stuff we said in that show.
Yeah,
I'll put a link to it.
Cool.
We talked about, I'll tell you very, very briefly, we talked about the hypogelum in Malta, the Oracle chamber. I'm not going to go into all that again. That resonates apparently at 111 hertz.
Yeah.
We talked about the resonant frequencies. Although they can be used for healing, they can also be used for destruction. So we talked about the walls of Jericho, wine glasses, bridges, and modern crowd dispersal technology, like the stuff they used in Australia last year or the year before.
Yeah.
It caused a lot of problems with people. So you want to find out more about all that, look at the previous show.
I watched it this afternoon, Jack.
Oh yeah,
it's really good. Lots of information there. Thoroughly recommend it to people if they want to get more about sound healing.
Thank you, Andrew. Yeah. Archoacoustics. Ancient buildings, Newgrange, Stonehenge.
Woodhenge.
the stones have well, there's a thing called lithosphone. I can't even pronounce it. Lithophones, yeah, it's the technical word for it, or bellstones.
Yeah.
The place in I can't know if I can pronounce it, Preseli in South Wales.
Yeah.
Where the blue stones were taken for Stonehenge.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a local village near there that's called something long and convoluted in Welsh, which I'm not even going to start to attempt. But translated, it means bellstone.
Yeah.
Those stones ring. If you hit them with another stone, they ring.
Yeah.
And there's some work being done in the Paleolithic caves in France and Spain that's suggesting, it's very early days in the research, that as well as seeing the pictures of those animals on the walls, they might actually have been able to hear them.
Yeah.
Because of the stones there in the cave and the way they use them to create sound.
Yeah, because of the resonance. That makes sense, doesn't it?
There's also a village called Bellstone in on Dartmoor.
Yeah.
And they tell some cock and bull story about the devil to account for why it's called Bellstone, but I'm sure you can think of other possible reasons.
And there's a beach in, I think it's mid Wales, and when you walk on the sand, it's singing clear quartz, basically.
Oh, that's beautiful, yeah.
Well, not with the soles of your feet, but if you've got shoes on of any kind, it goes.
How's it go? But we talked all about crystals last week, so go back onto that show. We talked a lot about crystals and
we
quartz,
did indeed, darling.
and the way quartz can be used, well, the way it's used in electric circuitry.
Yeah, yeah.
The way we can use it for healing, and all the other stones that you can use for healing as well. In healing, when the sound goes in through the ear, it goes straight to the brain.
Yeah, and straight into our limbic system. It's why when sometimes you hear a song or you hear the start of a piece of music, and straight away you remember where you were, what you were doing, who you were with, because it does go straight into our brain, into a beautiful limbic system.
When it comes in through the skin,
yeah,
and it's so important with sound therapy that you don't just listen to it through headphones.
Yeah.
That you also have sound, surround sound. You can actually feel it coming through the skin. You can feel the body vibrating. And I'll put a link below in the description to a really interesting device that I found. That it's a big piece of material. I don't know, that's floppy with 3 speakers in it, 3 transducers in it.
Oh, all right.
And it fits your chair, and then you can just sit in your chair, and you've got these 2 above and 1 below, booming the sound out to you, and you can plug it into any phone or MP3 device or computer. How
luscious.
I'll put a link to that below. So yeah, if it comes in through the skin, it goes straight. If it comes into the ear, it goes to the brain. If it comes in through the skin, it goes straight to the spinal cord.
I was just looking at Andrew's comments.
But even if it just goes through the brain, although it's not as good, even if you've got headphones on, it only goes to the brain. Your brain is linked to all the other systems in your body, so it will filter down. There's also a thing called a resonant frequency therapy device, but I don't think we need to go into that. Now, we're not giving anybody medical advice on this channel. We never ever do, okay? If you've got any serious ailment, please go and see a medical professional. We're not, well, Annie is, but the rest of us aren't medical professionals, okay? but there's a thing called histocracy. Am I pronouncing that right?
Indeed.
Right. You can probably tell us more about it than I can, which delivers short acoustic energy bursts
Yeah.
to break up cancerous tumors and things
Yeah.
like that. Yeah.
Although again, we're not allowed to say that it does any good.
Oh, I'm not going to say it does any good. I'm just going to say
Dr. Bell, for
some
goodness sake,
people are
they won't
using
be
it.
able to make enough with their pharmaceutical nonsense.
Some people are using it for that. I'm not saying whether it works or whether it doesn't. Do your own research. I don't want to get this channel taken down. It's crazy, isn't it? You can't talk about things.
So ridiculous. What kind of world do we live in when we're not allowed to talk about things that would help?
Now, there's two particular scientists that are doing work on this separately, independently from each other. One is called Charles Kane,
Yeah.
and the other one is called Anthony Holland.
I've heard of Anthony Holland, yeah, certainly.
Yeah, so yeah, do look into that. Holland has worked out that by putting in two very high frequency, above hearing ultrasound frequencies, one 11 times the resonance of the other, the frequency of the other, so the 11th harmonic, can kill tumors.
Yeah, without a doubt.
That's what he's claiming. I'm not saying one way or the other. That's what he's claiming. He's saying that these frequencies need to be within 100 and 300,000 hertz, so very, very high frequencies. You mentioned the Solfeggio frequencies.
Yeah.
I think originally there were only 6, weren't there? Although there's lots of other ones been added to the list since.
I think they were suppressed deliberately, but what would I know?
Well, yeah. What do any of us know? We only know what we're told. And it's so important to get your information from different sources.
Absolutely.
If you just rely on the
3 different sources all saying the same things, that's enough for me.
Well,
and anecdotal stuff as well. If people tell me anecdotally things 3 times, I'm like, yeah, I get it.
I mean, what I always say is read all the available information and then make up your own mind.
Yeah. And trust your intuition.
Yeah, exactly. But don't let anybody else, no matter how many degrees they've got, do your thinking for you.
Exactly.
Yeah, we talked about arcoacoustics, didn't we? Between 90 and 120 hertz.
Yeah.
Going back to the hypergellum, that fits in that range of 111 hertz.
Yeah, definitely.
So, I'll put the link to it, all those things below. But I believe that that sound healing is a big part of the way forward.
Oh, massively. Absolutely massively.
Who remembers the Star Trek episode where they went back into the past to rescue the whales?
Oh, yeah. That's another sound frequency.
And one of them ended up in hospital. And Bones went in to get him out.
Yeah.
And he said, "Put your butcher's gear away," didn't he? It's primitive medicine that they're foisting upon us when there are better alternatives.
Yeah, absolutely.
There are so many better alternatives.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you want a better alternative, go to Annie.
Oh, thank you.
Absolutely, she'll sort you out. You don't need to go to the butcher's. If you wanted to buy a steak or some sausages, you wouldn't go to the hospital, would you? Why go to the hospital for a butchering?
Absolutely. Well, I think that I'm a very good example of somebody that's always joyful and happy and full of vitality and joyfulness. And the fact that I haven't seen my GP since 1998, when they told me that I would never walk again, I believe that there is a correlation between those two things that I don't see.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And
yeah.
I think that's why I'm so fit and healthy, because since 1998, when they gave me that dreadful negative no hope service news, I've only ever used natural healing, and I eat organically and all the other things that I've talked about previously. But
Yeah.
I know that there is a correlation between me not seeing my GP since 98 and me being joyful and bubbly and full of the joys of spring. And I think it's because I haven't engaged with, well, it's big pharma, isn't it, really?
Well, I mean, the doctors have tried to scare the SH1T out of me by
Yeah.
telling me all these different ailments I've got.
Yeah.
And a while back, I just decided to put all the beds in the bin.
Good man.
And I've felt so much better since.
Yeah.
I'm not
But it was
telling
my dad that used to call it the no hope service.
I'm not telling anybody else to do that.
But
I'm
no.
not giving medical advice here. I'm just saying what I did.
Yeah. So my dad would come to me and have lovely healing things done that helped him to progress. But then he'd go for his annual checkup thing with the GP and go, I can't bloody believe this. The no hope service strikes again. You'll never get over diabetes. You'll never be able to do this. You'll never be able to do this. Never be able to do this. And actually, all the things that they told him he wouldn't and couldn't overcome, he did, but using natural medicine.
Yeah.
But that's down to their paradigm, isn't it? That they have been told this, and most doctors, when they go to college and university, they learn all the different workings of the human body, and then they get into surgery, and then the big pharma come around and say, if you promote this treatment, we'll give you this and we'll give you that. Yeah. And it might not be money, but they make it worth their while to do it.
Yeah.
So then they're literally pushing drugs.
Yeah.
Almost like you go down the place, I don't know where it is, but I'm sure there is one round here on the corner where there's little bags of something being given for lots of money. They're just drug pushers, the doctors. They are. But they aren't at the beginning. I remember my mum saying, I don't want to go and see the old doctor. He's retiring soon and he's lost interest. I want to see the young doctor because he's eager and he wants to help.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely, darling.
But it's so different now. They're just pushing drugs.
Yeah, my colleague.
Other opinions are available. I don't know whether anybody else can hear it, can see it, but I think I'm breaking up a little bit here. I'm freezing.
You are indeed, my lovely.
Can you hear me all right, or is my voice breaking up?
We can hear you, but I think there's like a satellite delay.
Right. Okay. So I think we better wrap it up. We've been going for an hour.
Okay.
We've been going for nearly
an hour. Thank you to everybody.
We were very late starting, and I apologise for that. But it's no good if I'm going to be breaking up. Let me just say that we're here every Monday. You don't even know what day it is.
But you are there every Friday as well, so that's all right.
Well, I'm here most Fridays, not every Friday.
Okay.
Doing another show called Co-Creating the New Earth Together. And I'm always looking for anybody who's doing anything interesting who wants to come on. Yeah. Whether you're making a difference in the world or you're just making a difference in your own village.
Yeah.
If you're a therapist, if you have a community garden, whatever it is that you're doing. I've had lots and lots and lots of different types of people on telling me about different things that they're doing. So if you want to come on, get in touch.
And I thoroughly recommend the show that you did with my lovely friend and acupuncturist, Victor Ong. This is from Kenneth Kendrick. Thank you all.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah.
And then Monday nights with me.
Oh, I love doing Monday nights with you, Annie. That's the best highlight of my week. No, seriously, you lift me up.
Do I? Oh, that's so lovely to hear, Jack.
You always lift my energies and lift my spirits.
Oh, I'm so pleased. I think you like my irreverent sense of humour.
We absolutely adore your irreverent sense of humour.
As I'm glugging from my pot of something.
like. So this show will be up on YouTube later tonight.
Thank you, Jack. Thank you, Kenny. Thank you, Andrew. Thank you to you, Jack, for doing all the technical, logical.
There's enough all the technical goobies. I don't know what happened. YouTube decided to change my password and lock me out of my account. Oh,
that was very helpful of them.
So until I'd reset my password, I couldn't get in to let you lot in.
Yeah. Well, I thought eventually the host will let me in. It was going swirly, swirly, swirly. The host will let you in. And then I thought, oh, I better just check with Facebook Messenger that Jack knows that it's not letting me in. And then you went, oh, I'm having some monkey business with YouTube.
But anyway, hopefully we won't have the same problem.
It's going to move smoothly and swiftly next week.
I know why it happened.
You do know?
Yeah, it happened because last week I tried to use my other laptop.
Ah, I see.
It buggered up the system.
How very naughty of it.
So then it was expecting me to log in from that laptop again.
Ah.
And I was logging in from what it then considered to be an unfamiliar laptop. Forget it's the one I use every week. It wasn't the same one I used last week.
So YouTube got itself a little in a tiz then, in other words. Andrew, can I just ask you, what's that lovely picture in the background? Is it Greece? I'm just wondering if it's Greek.
Where is it, Andrew? We can't hear you.
It's the Minute Theatre in Cornwall.
Oh,
and it was built by a lady, a lady of the gentry, out of just stones lying around. It took her, I think, 30 years of her life.
I've heard of that. Yeah, I've heard of that.
Beautiful.
It's great, doesn't it?
It's amazing, especially at sunset.
Yeah,
and they do live music gigs there.
Oh, how lovely.
Well, maybe that's a really beautiful setting. I don't think I spelled it correctly, but it's the Minute Theatre, and it's in Cornwall.
Right. Wow. So please do on the YouTube version, please do like and share and subscribe if you haven't.
Yay!
Because it helps us to get noticed.
It does indeed.
And the more people we can reach, the more people we can help.
Yeah, indeed.
And inspire.
Yes, indeed.
Just raise people's vibrations.
Indeed, darling.
Inspire people to just to move up to the next level of
absolutely.
Yeah. So thank you all.
Namaste.